Hey guys, it's Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the emergency storage shed for another weekly episode. We are up to episode 93. That's 93 weeks in a row we've got something out of this shed without fail. We're going all right, still not quite halfway. Let's come and have a look at what we're up to. We are getting there, but we're still not quite halfway to the back wall and it is packed solid. We're finding some cool stuff and I've been working on this shelf unit here. We've nearly got this empty. We're down to the second bottom shelf, and when I get this unit empty I might move it out. I'm not sure if I've got somewhere else to put it. It's a good solid shelf unit. I don't want to get rid of it, but I'm trying to make room in here to move my lathe in, which is still in the carport under blankets. Let's get this. We've got this old Sanyo Beta VCR. It's called a Beta Cord, which I believe is Sanyo's version of the Beta Max. It would have to be 1980s. It looks a pretty early one. It's a look very dirty, very rough. It looks like it's a bit knocked around on the front here. I have no idea if it goes. So in the next video, we will have a look at that. We have to make some decisions. We might power it up and see if the magic smoke leaks out somewhere, or it might even work. Let's get this mystery cardboard box. I have no idea what's in here. Absolutely none at all. It's actually quite heavy. So we'll carry that through to the bench and we'll unpack it together. This box is actually extremely heavy. It looks like it's got some old radios in here. One's branded Ferris. Not sure what we're going to do with them. I don't remember ever seeing them before, but I must have, given that they're in my shed. So let's, not sure what's in the bottom. A transmitter of some sort. Let's unpack it and work out what to do with them, because I don't want to keep them here. All right, it's the next day now. Let's get into these. I haven't pulled them out of the box, and I'm thinking that there's not going to be much value here, because I did a little bit of background checking on old valve, because these are valves, they're pre-transistor car radios, and they're not really bringing much. So this one's very rough, extremely dirty and rusty on the top. I'm presuming it's a speaker grill. I can't see any dial or anything. Now, some of these apparently had a separate control head that mounted on your dash, and then cables went down to the radio. If that's the case, well, it's not going to work because we don't have the control head for it. They call them portable, but you just about need to be Superman to lift the things. It's had a wasp's nest there, did I mention that? It's absolutely filthy. And I think there's a pretty good chance that we're just going to pass this on for $5 or something. I mean, it's too good to throw in the scrap. It's going to have radio valves and things in it. Maybe we can take the cover off and have a look. The other one looks in better condition, and it's actually branded Ferris Super 7. It's missing a knob. Nice brass plate though on the top there. And again, this probably had a control head that went up on the dash, and you've got some sort of socket there. I'm not sure what those are for. It feels like some sort of tuning, but it may have even been a flexible shaft drive from the dash all the way down to here to physically tune the capacitor. What's on this side? We have more inputs. This one doesn't have a handle like the other one does. It just has two brackets. It's full of dirt. I'd say it's probably was a wasp's nest in there, and now it's just become dirt. So that one's pretty well in just as bad a condition. I'm not sure if we can get the top off easily. Perhaps we will have a look, but they're really not going to be much value. I'm more interested in the thing down the bottom that has a microphone. It looks quite large. Oh, it's more modern. It's got a big heatsink on the back. And what's the front look like? Okay, it's a decent sort of transceiver. It's a Hawk PCM electronics. It kind of looks 1970s to me, maybe early 80s. We have 10 channels. I wonder if it's like a marine radio. Doesn't actually say. It is made in Australia. Clarifier, volume, a couple of toggle switches here. SSB single sideband, and call reset, transmit on. Okay, so it's a Hawk transceiver or transmitter, and I guess you receive with it as well. Pretty powerful unit, I would suggest. It's quite large. So 12 volts, so it's obviously meant to go in a vehicle of some description. Probably going to be collectible to some degree. I'm not going to be able to test this because I don't have an antenna for it. And what do we have at the back? That'd be an antenna cable and your power in, and probably an extension speaker. Maybe we could, well, there's not much point powering it up. We're not going to receive anything. We might have a look inside that, although that's going to be a bit tricky because the case appears to be one big piece of extruded aluminium. So probably you'd have to take the front panel off and maybe the rear heatsink. I don't think I want to go to that trouble because I'm not going to be able to establish if it works or not anyway. I'm just going to clean it up. I'll do a bit of checking to see if these are sought after, but it's probably likely to go in the shop as an untested unit and someone can take a punt on it. So value-wise, I don't know. I'll have to do a bit of checking to see if they're sought after. But the other two valve radios, we will try and have a look inside them, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be very low value. In the bottom of the box, we have some number plates. New South Wales, the Premier State. They're matching. NKN 504. Then we have another New South Wales one, C. That might have been, it's not a normal registration number. It might have been for a bus or something. And an older New South Wales one with a TU 7013. Now, people do collect number plates. I don't know the legalities of them, to be honest. I'm not sure if you're allowed to buy and sell them. I was of the understanding that when you deregistered a vehicle, you were supposed to take the plates back to the relevant authorities. I don't know, but I've got a few sitting up in my shed. I'm just going to use these as shed decorations. But if you know the laws on selling number plates in Australia, you might perfectly be able to deal in older number plates that are no longer registered on their system. And you must be, given that sometimes you see the really early enamelled plates bring hundreds of thousands of dollars for a very low number. So if they're a saleable commodity, then perhaps these are as well. But I don't particularly want to sell them. I like the idea of hanging a few of these up in the shed. So that's what I'm going to do with those. And that empties the box. So we'll check out this big two-way radio here, and we'll try and get some covers off these other ones just to have a peek inside and see what's in there. So let's see if we can get into this radio. It's got a couple of bolts either side, or nuts or retainers. Oh, they're nuts actually. And I think the top cover may lift off. That one's a bit tight. That's all it took. Right. I don't think they have to come right out, but I'm guessing the cover's going to be a little rusted on. But I think it should lift off. We might have to give it some encouragement. Can we get in here with any leverage? Oh yes, I think that's going to move. Yep. It's been well and truly glued on by many years of grime. And judging by the dirt that fell out of this one, I suspect there's a wasp's nest in here, or there was. Okay, we're freeing up now. Let's see if we can get into here. Oh, I think this knob has to come off. I think that's what's causing us problems. Does it have a set screw? No, I don't think it does. It might just pop off. Or not. Oh, it does have a set screw. And that's why you don't force it too hard right from the start. It's got that set screw undone. Now we should be able to get it off. And it's still rusted on. I can feel it flexing the whole component that it's attached to up and down. That's going to take some getting off, I think. There's only one set screw. I better take it right out. It's really not going to matter to the value of it, but I don't really want to break the knob. Let's put a bit of WD-40 in there if we can. Tap it back on a little bit. Now, will it come off this time? I think we're getting somewhere. It's certainly moving on the shaft. Another screwdriver perhaps, and we'll attack it from both sides. There we go. And we didn't break it. Beauty. Right, now that cover should lift off. Well, the view inside better be worth all this hassle. Okay, there we go. Whoa, it's packed full of goodies and dirt. I'll get the camera a bit closer. Well, there we go. They jam a lot in a little box. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 valves, I think. What's down the bottom here? Oh, there's a valve over there. So 5 valves. And we're going to have, given that this runs off 12 volts and yet it needs to run valves which need high voltage, that will be our vibrator unit, which we'll unplug. There we go. So this is a vibrator which we talked about one of these in a previous episode on something or other. And there we go, it actually says vibrator unit non-synchronous. So the idea of that is to take the 12 volts DC and turn it into a form of AC by, the vibration is basically a mechanical switch going on and off very quickly. And when you've got an AC voltage, you can then boost it through a transformer to very high voltages, and then you can convert it back into DC at the high voltages to run your valves. So that's what these old things used to run a vibrator in them, and they'd always buzz and make a lot of racket, but they were needed before transistors come along. So yeah, there we go. There's some value in there, I guess, in parts. I might leave the cover off, or at least make sure it's loose and easy to get off. Big transformer, another transformer, tuning capacitor in the middle, various coils and valves. And it's probably essentially, the wiring's essentially like a normal valve radio. Once you get your voltages up to the required levels, it's going to operate much the same as a normal valve radio. But of course, the difference with this one is that we don't have any controls. We don't have any dial to tell you what stations you're on. That will all be in the control head unit, which we don't have. So I'm going to leave this, I'll clean it up a little bit. I might blow it out with the air compressor, and we'll probably just put $10 on it in the shop. I don't think I'll worry about getting into this one. It's going to be identical, and it's probably going to be tougher to get into. Maybe we could put both in a box at $20 the pair and see how we go. And I'll just hit them with the compressor so they're a little bit cleaner for the shop. And that's really all we can do with those. I've just been cleaning these up, and this is the bottom of the other radio, and it's a Ferris brand as well. I've just taken the screws out. Let's have a look in here. Oh yeah, there's the bottom of it. So we're not looking at the valves, we're looking at the underside. Ugh. There's been some residence in here. Not any longer, but yeah, it's pretty grotty. All the old original capacitors are still in here. It'd be a major job to bring this back to life. Look, the wax capacitors even cracked at the end. They're awfully close to this metal cover, although I guess that's what this bit of paper does. So anyway, we're just going to leave them as they are, but they're obviously complete. The valves will be on the other side of this one. And as you can see from the top, it did clean up a bit better. There's a chromed section there. It does say Ferris. And this switch actually says 12 volts and 240. So this unit could be plugged into mains power, but on 12 volts it would still use a vibration unit or a vibrator unit. There must be an input plug for a mains cord somewhere. Oh, there we go. That would be it there. So anyway, that's enough. I'm just going to put this bottom cover back on, and we'll sell those through the shop, I think just at $10 each or $20 the pair. So that's the haul for this unboxing, and our price, well, I'm going to go $50 on the Hawk transceiver. There's every chance that it could go, or it certainly could be restored. I think they've got a bit of collectability about them. I believe they were made in Melbourne, so I think I'll try $50 on that and see how we go. The radios over there, as I mentioned, just $10 each. And I'm keeping the number plates. I did find out a little bit about them though. The slogan New South Wales, the Premier State, was used from 1980 through to 1988. So they're 1980s number plates, including this one. But this configuration is for a trailer. And the black and white one could date back as far as the 1950s, but also that configuration with 4 numerals and 2 letters was also for a trailer. So there we go. I'll hang them up in my shed. They'll look pretty cool. Might sell them all one day if I know, if I'm sure that I'm allowed to. I think you can, because I checked eBay and there's quite a lot of number plates for sale on there, and particularly these older ones, and they're only bringing $10 to $20. So I think I'd rather hang them up in my shed. So the total for this little unboxing was just $70, and I think that's quite achievable. Certainly I think someone will take a punt on the car radios, even just for parts, if nothing else. And the transceiver is going to look cool in the shop, and I'm sure someone will grab it at some stage, as I said, especially being Australian made. And I think Barb was asking the other day, where's Coco? Well, here she is. Look at the camera. She comes in the shed every now and again just to see what I'm up to, but usually she stands outside the door and barks while I'm trying to film, so you might often hear her in the background. She just wants attention. Everything has to be all about her. So thanks for watching that one, guys. It was a fairly short and sweet episode, but we got another box out of the shed, so that's great. Another $70 odd into the kitty, which I think we should be able to get, and a bit more stuff to dress up my shed. So our total is almost at $15,000. It's just under $15,000. We'll get another box. Actually, what's next? Not a box. We'll get that old Sanyo VHS top loader out next week, and we might plug it in and just see if we can fill the shed with smoke. Catch you in the next video. Bye for now.